Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I'm super excited about today's episode because we're going to be sharing the opportunity that is eXp India with no other than the director of brokerage operations and the founder of eXp India, Shashank Vashishtha. And I'm super excited about this interview, this episode, because we are not only going to be sharing the opportunity that is eXp India for real estate agents and brokers in India, but also why it's such a great real estate business opportunity for those who are looking to get into the real estate business, those entrepreneurs and those leaders, and why it's there's so much growth in this past couple of years. And I'm super excited about it. And without further ado, I'm excited to bring on my guest, Shashank. So Shashank, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Kobe, to invite me for your show. And I'm super excited to be here. And it's an honor to, be here for your audience. So look forward for it.
Yeah, no problem. I'm super excited to have you on. And, just first and foremost, for the audience listening here, would you mind just kind of giving us a little bit of background about yourself and how you came to be, in this position of leading the growth of eXp India and doing such a great job, in the past couple of years?
But it's a great story. I mean, Kobe, if I would like
Yeah.
to share here. So yes, real estate is all about my passion. So I studied computers in my graduation undergrad. So I have studied computers engineering, and I have not found that kind of passion in that field. I worked for a company, a multinational company, and then I decided to get into switch my career into as a licensed realtor in India. So I started selling a small apartments of a small ticket size, a
Mhm.
2 bed and all, and then I keep on selling it, right? So be
Right.
it apartments, townhouse, and that's how I started my real estate journey. And then eventually I realized that we have to get some professional knowledge in this domain. If you talk about in India, there are very less professional realtors
Wow.
available right now. So keeping that opportunity back in 2010, then I started uh, pursuing my masters in real estate. So I hold my degree in real estate investment and
Yeah.
finance. And since then, I work with companies like Cushman and Wakefield. I was a part of their corporate finance team. Used to structure a lot of financing, working with the developer, leading developer of the country, and getting them funds, working with pension funds, foreign direct investment for the country, and getting more like finance side of the business. During my tenure, I did get a chance to meet and explore different countries, be it your market in Hong Kong, Dubai, London, UK, and I've seen there's a huge opportunity in residential market in India, especially the luxury side. So we decided to get a brand. So my previous instinct was a company called Sotheby International Reality, and we decided to start working with them, and we were selling real estate luxury properties across the country. And I was one of the top producing realtor for the company and running the most successful team. And in 2020, I get to know this company about EXP, right? So this is what excites me, and it was a no-brainer for me to not jump into it, because it's much more than a brokerage, if I have to explain it in a single line.
Mm.
Because there are a lot of brokerages. I work with a company who's paying you on a monthly basis. They are into commercial real estate sector. And then there are brokerages who are franchisee model, right? So you have a different split, you have a different game altogether. So what makes me, decide to jump into EXP at this position was seeing the opportunity, because this company has disrupted the market in North America. They started just in 2008, and if you talk and compare any real estate company or real estate brokerage across the globe, they have literally surpassed them, both in terms of number of transaction and the market cap, right? And we have all witnessed it. Despite of these challenging times right now everyone is seeing, we are still booking profits. So it's a remarkable job. And when I did get a chance to speak to the senior management, Glenn Sanford, Jason Gessing, and Michael Waldes, who started the global expansion, so that time we decided, okay, India has to be there. There are two reasons for that, because strategically, if you see, we have a huge opportunity. We are 1/7 of the world population in terms of
Right.
numbers, right? And if you see, we are one of the fastest developing nation in the world, right? If you compare with after China, India is the, I would say, biggest in terms of population, also
Right.
in terms of development. right? So these factors actually make for a company also strategically, decide entered in India market. So we were the fifth country which they opened after, they were started from US, and then, moved to Canada, then they started UK and Australia, and then South Africa, and then India. So strategically, we have were the part of this and seeing that opportunity, because India is 1.3 billion in terms of population. And just imagine company like eXp who's helping other agents to grow in their life, and they are just disrupting the life of so many agents. Not only that, but for their family. We are, the I can say, this is the model which is made for humanity. And I think my country needed that model, and that's how it started. It's a mutual. We approached the country, and we have shown the opportunity in India, and it's remarkable journey. I mean, I would say in last 2 years, it's we are about to complete. So today is 15 November, and we started our operations on 16th November last year 2020. So almost verge of completing our 2 years. And today, if I talk, proudly, I can say we are around 1550 plus agents who are working with us in India. We are pretty much present in 85% in terms of geographical locations. 20 plus states we are present, and we are serving in 100 cities. And we have done n number of transactions. We are already in the top 5 real estate brokerage. If you talk about single owned independent brokerage, so we are actually top 3 brokerages in the country. So all these are the big achievements in just 2 years. And we are trying to do our level best supporting our agents, because eXp is the only agent centric company, I believe, in this planet, right? Or on this planet. The reason why I'm saying this, because I have experienced different brokerages, worked and studied different markets, and I think it's a revolutionary thing, and that's why I decided to join eXp.
Yeah, that's amazing, Shashank. I think that was a wonderful, journey that you shared with us, because I mean, you've clearly had a lot of experience in real estate with different companies, and you've clearly done your research, before going into eXp as well. And I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there about what the company represents and, what the company does. But I love what you said, that this company was made for humanity, right? It was literally made so that it would not only just help the people who are at the company, the agents and the brokers, but also, just change their lives, not just change their businesses. And that's something that I've always said, that this is more of a lifestyle company, more of a, overall company than just, hey, I'm going to help your business. Now, obviously it is going to help your business, but this is so much more than that. And I love that you shared that as well. So I think, for our listeners out there who are, practicing real estate brokers or agents that are, already been in business in India. And I've spoken to a couple of agents and brokers in India as well. And I've kind of gotten a take on the situation in India, right? It's a little bit different than what we have here in the US. And understand that there doesn't need to be a lot of licensing. You don't necessarily have to be with a brokerage company. So, for those people who are listening, what are the benefits of joining a company like eXp? I know, we mentioned that it's great, but like specifically for people who are, they're doing great on their own and they don't see kind of like why they would need to be part of a company. What would you say was like, a big benefit for those people? What are some of the big benefits for those who are already practicing real estate to be a part of the eXp India?
Yeah, so I think to summarize this question and to answer this question, I think eXp is the company for entrepreneurs. This
Right.
is a company who really wanted to grow, exponentially in their next, career. So there's always two way of doing business. One is traditional way of doing it, and second is, getting more creative, getting more independent, getting more energetic, right, and getting more entrepreneurial. So I think eXp is the company. If you talk about India, so what we have seen traditionally, like you said rightly, the different, the how the business works here in India, it's totally different. Unlike United States or Canada or any European country, so we have a different, like if you talk about India, and I think it's very similar to South Asian countries, if I would have to
Right.
say. But India, being such a populated country, so we don't have that kind of regulation in terms of doing of business or ease of doing of business. And traditionally people used to hire real estate agents, right, on
Right.
permanent, I would say, monthly salaries. So I think we are breaking the barriers here, and the people who understanding this, people who really believe that it can be a future, because they have witnessed Uber success in India, they have seen Amazon success in India, right? And I think this is a similar kind of model. If you talk about real estate domain, there's no such company present, and as I said, my country needed this kind of model. So I'm saying for a purpose, because those who understand, because when they used to work for a salary, they are just getting peanuts. They're just getting less than 5% of what they are actually earning in commission, because most of the commission goes to the companies who are running the operations. The second model is people hire other people by paying them a small monthly fees, or taking a licensing, right, working with a reputed brand, with the franchisee. They invest a huge ton of money, and then they hire normal agents who work at ground, right? They made a lot of efforts, they made a lot of transactions, and at the end of the day they ended up getting 40%, 50%, 60%, 70% of the share.
Right.
And I am telling you, this is the reality, because I also experienced that in India. I worked with on salary, I worked with associate as a franchisee. But what EXP is giving you, it's giving you everything, right? So that's why we call agent centric. The mean agent centric is, likely said, there are a lot of I would say perception about the company, right? But it's not true. So if you see, they are giving all the efforts, the person who's putting a lot of effort, the person who's actually going out, closing the transaction, you have the flexibility of making 75%, which, it's an individual business model. And once you hit the capping, you can take almost 100% of your commission. Not only that, this company actually invites all the agents, all the successful realtors to come join the company, where you can become the owner, right? You can become the co-owner in the company, you can own the shareholder, you can become the shareholder, and you can own the share ownership, right, in the company. No other company is offering such thing. There are a couple of companies which we try to do similar kind of things, but let's not talk about it. What I see, EXP, they have a vision. They started with some strong foundation, some strong pillars, and I think every country where they are opening, so every country is experiencing this. So just imagine when they started in US, and it's 10 years. So just give it a thought, and to your audience also, today it's just 2 years. Just imagine India after 10 years, right? So EXP India after 10 years. So I think the CEO, the co-founder of the company, the chairman, Glenn Sanford, he is having a vision of having 500,000 agents, 50 countries in next 5 years. So I think it's pretty much achievable, the kind of business opportunities we have. Cross country referrals, Indians are everywhere, right? Chinese are everywhere, and Koreans are everywhere, South Africans are everywhere. So this company is actually breaking the barriers. They are like companies trying to create a brokerage where there's no boundary. So being in US, you can sell properties in India. Being in India, you can sell properties in Canada. Being in Canada, you can sell properties in Portugal. So I think this is the biggest opportunity, and you can become a global real estate professional or global realtor once you join EXP. We are proudly present in with 86,000 agents in more than 23 countries. I think this is quite remarkable in just like a little over a decade.
Right, definitely. And I love that you said that, you can be a global entrepreneur, you can be a global agent. And I can attest to that because, we were just talking about it before our call here. I partner with agents in India, right? And I live here in the United States. I've never stepped foot in India physically, but I have agents there that I'm working with that are partner with me, and we can share information, we can share resources. And there's, it's breaking down the boundaries of locality, of having to be there physically to be able to share resources. And I think it's an incredible thing that, people are being able to take care of and take advantage of, for sure. So I think, we've seen a lot of growth in EXP India, clearly the past couple of years. And, I think, we've all heard the stories, I think internally in the company of, there's a lot of big teams of, over hundreds of agents. It's actually somebody fairly close to me who brought that team on. So, when you see these big teams in brokerages kind of with hundreds and, maybe tens of agents, there's still a lot of agents, brokers joining at a time. With your experience working with them, what have you seen is, just maybe from, things that they've said to you or things that you've seen in their growth that, you really can say that, hey, this team is really benefiting in terms of, their growth, or they're really benefiting because they're able to outsource their management. So basically, like, what I'm trying to get at is, if you're a big team, you run a big operation or a big company, maybe you own a franchise, what are some of the benefits of, kind of moving that entire operation, entire business over? Because I mean, it's a big change, right? It's a lot bigger than just being an individual agent.
Absolutely. So, just to answer this, I mean, every business, no matter whether it's real estate or any company per se,
Right.
right? If you talk about a manufacturing unit, right? So every company has their, two type of expenses. One is capital expenditure, which you initially invest,
Right.
and the second is operational expenses. So what traditionally used to happen, you have to take a franchisee, you take a, huge capex one time, which is valid for 5 years as the licensing fees, right? So that's your capex, and then on the top of that, you have to run your operational cost, which can be your staff, which can be your receptionist, which can be your office space, and also there are indirectional cost, which is your fuel, which is your car, which is your business development cost, marketing cost, this and that. But if you see what exp is doing and how we are able to give maximum to our agents because of our low operational cost. And I think this is the key for any brokerage. If you ask any brokerage, they are literally struggling, right? When we started operations in India, there's no option because we are under the COVID situation. We are under the pandemic. All physical offices, they decided to even downsize. They decided to even cut down the cost. So if you see, for any brokerage who are working out there, they work on a very thin margin.
Right.
Once their turnover might be on a higher side, right? If you have a team of around 100 agents, just an example I'm
Yeah.
sharing you, or suppose you are making x, so what you realize, almost x minus 80 or x minus 90 you are ended up spending, and you end up getting 10, 15, 20% of what you have actually make. So if you are working as an individual agent, you ended up making more money than that running the whole, right, this thing. So my only thing is, if you really wanted to level up, if you really wanted to grow, and then what happened when you are running a traditional business model, there are people come to you, they become successful, and then they leave you, right? And what happened once they leave you, they become your competitor, or they become someone, or they move to some other country, or they start their own thing or join some other brokerage.
Right.
But good thing about exp, it's all about collaboration. It gives you an opportunity where you can actually get these people trained, mentor, and get them more productive. You are creating your own self, you are just
Right.
creating your replicate, right? I know people in your circle also, what he has done, he actually created a lot of people who can understand, who can learn from him, and he pass on the same energy, the same message to other people, and now they are also killing it, nailing it in the market.
Yeah.
So I think this is the biggest advantage of having an exp for any brokerage. They not only just cut down their expenses, operational cost, also they are getting I would say support staff. Like we have more than 2000 plus employees. Just imagine day and night, best of the best, I would say, resources working for our agent success, right? I think
Right.
that is what something I really appreciate. If you go to any event, it's all agents drive, but we are just supporting our agents. We are here to support our agent. All 1600 agents who are becoming successful, we are becoming successful because
Right.
they are the one who is going and representing the company, and we are the back end support for them.
Right.
So I think for any brokerage, it's a no brainer, like just to analyze their cost analysis, right? Or also managing their PNL. So they have to analyze all these situations, and then vis-a-vis compare what exp is offering. Not only just from the day one, they are giving you flexibility that you can structure your team in a similar manner, ended up making more profits, right, at the end of the day. And you are also creating a retirement plan for yourself, because whenever any team member is going to do the transaction, you will be awarded with some stocks. You are also going to get some revenue share. If you are introducing any agent, the time he is with exp, no matter whether it's under your team or your brokerage, or he's doing his own, you will get the revenue share. So I think these are a couple of things and which I can give you. And last one is an example. I was also running one train. I must have trained more than, I can say, 100 realtors in my
Wow.
life. They are much, older than me, younger than me, but I'm not getting any benefit because
Right.
they learned from me, they left, now they are doing good in their life. But what I am getting out of it? So something is, there, if suppose I am training someone and he's actually doing good. So it's not only just, I am mentoring him, I'm also getting paid. It's a passive income coming to us. So my only thing is, this is a great opportunity and no one has even thought about it. What makes, ideas successful, or what makes big companies, is about creativity. And I think EXP has given that opportunity to everyone. It's up to you now how you wanted to proceed, whether you wanted to stick to that traditional thing, or you wanted to become, more independent, more energetic, and more, I would say growth in terms of exponential,
Mhm.
or I can say exponential growth, right, in your life. So it's up to you. Decision is yours, because I can only talk about it from my experience, from what I have analyzed. But this is a no-brainer, because technology and the people, these are the basic pillar of the any company. I think EXP provides you both of them. So for any brokerage, it makes 100% sense to cut down their cost, getting more exposure, getting out of their particular city or neighborhood areas. Now that brokerage can actually have people in all over the country, all over India, 20 states,
Right.
100 plus cities. Not only that, 23 countries globally. They will become 100 to 85,000 plus 100. I
Right.
think that's the biggest advantage of having with EXP.
Oh, dude, that was awesome. You definitely summarized that up, like, no, just perfectly. Because I mean, I love what you said about, you're able to now leverage what you have, and you're able to leverage kind of your skill sets with not just, your circle, your small brokerage or your small team, and what we have in the US, but you're able to leverage it now with everybody in your network globally on your social media accounts. If you have big followings on a YouTube channel or social media, or like I'm doing on a podcast, hopefully there's a big following here as well. You can all leverage that now globally around the world, kind of like what I'm doing now. So this is not just kind of, when people think about it one way, right? It's all ways, right? So it's, you can partner with agents in India, agents in India can partner with agents in the US and in Canada and in South Africa, like you said, and all around the world. And I think it's just such a big growth opportunity for people who are, more open-minded and more, they're thinking more in terms of how can I grow outside of myself versus how can I keep what I have right now and not lose it, right? Because sometimes you do have to, when you say take a risk, right? You have to move your business over, and you don't want to sugarcoat it, is in a terms it is a business risk, but sometimes you do have to take that risk before the market changes or something else happens where the outside environment changes your business for you, instead of you being the aggressive person and changing your business, initiating that change essentially. So that is something that I definitely agree with. And I think, maybe have you've seen it, as well with, new brokers starting up or new people who are franchising companies as well, because I know I've talked to a couple of agents in India, and then, from what I've heard, based on, the different licensing laws, I think it's a little bit different for a broker in the US starting out than a broker who wants to build a company
In
in
India.
India.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I don't think there's a lot of ways for people to bring agents on and retain those agents, like you were saying. And maybe I could be wrong. Maybe you could, give your thoughts on that as well. But I mean, do you think that's the case at all with EXP India? Is now it gives you a growth arm if you do want to grow a team in a business outside of yourself?
Yeah. So just to answer this, I mean, yes, it's a different market. Licensing is not as strict like
Right.
in US. For example, if you wanted to get licensed, you have to study, you have to write an exam,
Right.
and then only you will get a license for a particular state. In India, yes, government has recently introduced the licensing. About 2017, they introduced it. Not everyone is licensed realtor here, and
Right.
it's not a very compulsory mandatory requirement. However, government is trying to organize it, right? So they are trying to structure it. It's just 5 years we have completed, and I think next 5 years there will be more structured, right? Because considering
Right.
the population, considering different states, provinces in the country, so every property is as provinces like state affair. So the taxation are different, and country is huge. It's a very diversified country.
Right.
There are a lot of languages. Every 100 miles you will see a different food, different culture, different
Right.
language. So that's how diversified we are as a country, India. So now talking about how EXP is helping them, or EXP is, giving them opportunity. So one is, yes, if you don't have any license, you can actually start with EXP, but provided you have some experience in real estate, or you really wanted to commit yourself, because if you really wanted to commit, because you have to learn, right? And one thing which is I really, I would say why EXP is grown so much is because of their trainings. So it's like, irrespective of who's your sponsor, who's your, mentor, who's your guide, all the trainings are available for everyone. 50 plus live hours, training every week. They are the top producing agent. They are the top, people in their markets, right? They are the icon agent. Icon is the, most reputed award like for EXP. And these are the top people who actually earned it, and not even once, twice, thrice, four. And they come, they train you, they give their time to, just to train other people, no matter whether you are in their downline or anyone's downline. Similarly, in India, we have structured a small 30, 60, 90 days program where for any beginner can start, right? So we try to use the international expertise and try to localize it. The trainings are available in the local language as well, be it your our product trainings, our tools training. So we do it on a weekly basis. In addition to 50 plus hours of EXP University, we have 30, 60, 90 days training for any agent who is working in India. So 30 days is started from beginner level. They can learn about the basics of real estate, how to use technology, how to use tools, access the tools. What we have 60 days is again, for an intermediary person who is having some experience, but who really wanted to level up, scale it up, right? So they will get some new tricks and hacks, and how to do business, structuring, goal setting, all these things. And then 90 days, it's again pro, like for example, how to grow your team, how you can become more productive, how you can actually grow your network, how you can do international reference. So all these things, it's a part of 30, 60, 90 days program. And I think this is certification. Every time you complete, you will get a certification also, and it gives you a overall development. So that's why we say, agent centric company, that we mean it. It's not about just making money or doing business. We actually support you. And I think training is the key. If you train well, you know how to grow. If you
Right.
just rely on these things, so one, I think every realtor is looking for more clients, and they're looking for spending a lot of amount, or load of, maybe they hire a social media agency to generate some leads, they hire a CRM, they do this and that, but they don't focus. They don't focus on learning the art to get
Mhm.
more leads. Instead of spending money to get some lead or buy some lead, you should learn about how to get business by your own, get your own clients. You will become self capable, self dependable, and you don't need to depend anyone. And EXP actually gives you that. We don't provide leads, but we actually tell you, or we actually taught you how to grow, how to generate your own business, how to network. And in my opinion, and this is what I believe since the day I started, the day one, your network is your net worth, right?
Right.
And EXP has a huge, huge network. And this is very true in your real estate, because the more agents, the chances of getting that property sold is very easy.
Right.
So all you need to do is just
Mhm.
find a good property and put it in your network. If you have that network of 800, 500, 200, 50, 10 agents, that means 50 other people is also working along with you, and you can
Right.
see the number of transactions you can do. So I think this is something one should know. And as I said, for beginners, we have amazing training program. We have technology, CRM, workplace where you can network. In addition to that, we have our own CRM where you just need to put your properties, and it will distribute to the leading portals and leading websites globally, so that you will get a maximum visibility and reach.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's such a, it's such an expansive network that you can share referrals with. And, we're just seeing it, in a micro market here within our own country here in the US, where agents are now building, adding 25% more in revenue to their entire business because they're able to refer everybody on the back end now, and earn that referral income as well. So I think with that big network, I mean, it's fantastic for agents to be able to now level up their business. But I think a concern that I've heard a lot of, and I've gotten a lot of questions myself, and I know I couldn't answer it for them. So I'm asking you now is, for agents in India, it's a little bit different because, clearly there isn't, the exclusive listing agreement, and it's not as common as it is here in the US. So with, this expansive network, and with all this, sharing and collaboration, I think a lot of agents in India would like to know, what are some of the things that EXP is putting in place to help that, and help regulate that, and help regulate, transactions, and what are some ways that EXP is doing that to, kind of help regulate, not just the agents within EXP, but almost like within the entire industry.
Yeah. So if I see, again, so change start from an individual, and this is what I believe,
Right.
right? And this is what I have learned. So if you really wanted to make a change, you should start from you, right?
Right.
And right now, if you talk about India, so there are a lot of professionals who are changing the industry. It's not only EXP, but I think these are the like-minded people, and we
Right.
are looking for these partners who really wanted to grow, who really wanted to, have a sustainable kind of business, right? So I think EXP is dominating in that way because we work with utmost professionalism and ethics. We don't entertain any, all these bad practices or bad practices, what is used to be in the market, right? So we are trying to make a change in the industry, and we are supporting government also. So as I said, we have taken the license first and then started the operation, though it's
Right.
not mandatory, but we as a listed company, we try to make 100% awareness that we are doing this. And now you said it rightly, that market is totally different. We don't have exclusive listings here, but what we are training, what we are doing, we are trying to give something which is different. The biggest problem of non exclusivity, there are 100 brokers or 100 realtors selling one property, right? And none
Yeah.
of them is going to get anything, because when it comes buyer, the seller will directly deal. So just imagine, how to safeguard the interest. Whose loss is this? It's actually agent's loss if he is not signing the mandate, if he is not signing or getting the commission paid on time. So everything you really need to understand. So being a company, we actually telling them how, what's the best practices of doing business. We have a code of conduct, professional ethics, and we provide trainings for that. How you can secure more mandates, why you should sign the fee letter, non-exclusive, that if I'll sell your property, you will get paid. So actually these small documentation helps you in, securing your interest or agents interest, where agents are ended up losing, money. But with EXP, not even single agent who are doing these practices, I think, they are losing their money. And second thing, we are training them getting more and more exclusive mandate, because if you are
Okay.
having a good property listing, 90% of your job is done. This is what I believe. If you have a mandate, you are, almost 90% of the job is done. Now 10% is either you need to find a buyer directly or look for other agents who can get you the buyer, right?
Right.
So my thing is, it's always makes sense taking the right property at a right price, and that is what we call, a good listing. So if
Right.
we are training them, working them in a, more structured manner. And the second biggest advantage what we have, because for new developments, so there are a lot of new developments happening in India. So these are the apartments, condominiums, plotted development. So EXP as a company can actually give them exposure. So that particular development can be exposed to pan India, 100 cities in India, 20 states in India. In addition to that, 23 countries in India, 86,000 agents in India. So these are the, something which is not there. Like, for example, if I'll ask you a question, do you know which project is there and EXP is selling in India? You might be having something, because you must have
Right.
seen some listings, right? Some promotion of workplace, or maybe some
Yes.
agent has shared it with you.
Right.
What you can do as a realtor, right? You can collaborate with any agent in India, and you will say them, okay, boss, what is your listing? I will, put it in my newsletter. I will put it in my social media.
Right.
I will maybe, put it in my circle of influence, right?
Yeah.
And what will happen? You are also getting business. It's not only Indian agents are getting, because this is the power of EXP, right? Being in, United States, you can actually get people join you in India. You can train them. You are already, professional. You have seen, you have written an exam. You tell them, like, these are the good practices, following these path. I am following the right process. If you follow the right process, you will get the right result. So I
Right.
think this is all about, replication, and this is what we are doing in India. There are some challenges. There are some realtors who joined us, they stick to all these traditional practices. They don't want to, do the split.
Hmm.
Like you said, there are a lot of question challenges, but they are not making, what the person who started with EXP, who started to following the process. And there are a lot of stories. I can give you, a lot of examples. A 20-year-old boy, he's studying computers again,
Hmm.
and he was his third year, the final year of his college, and he started EXP. He joined EXP by lending some money or pocket money from his father, and he said, "I will return you in 6 months." And you know what? In 4 months, he returned it. He made almost 300,000 Indian rupees in commission. So these are the, examples, I would say. And then again, it can be started at any age in India. So there's another, because of COVID, I know one agent, a realtor. She's from the west part of the country, and she started. She has zero experience in real estate, zero prior experience, or even any work experience. She used to be a housewife, and because of COVID, the husband lost his job, and then they were looking for, kind of struggling with financial. And then she got this opportunity. Someone told about EXP, and she joined it. She started doing all the sessions. She started listening to the productive agents, you and me, like, people like us, and she started to implementing it. She learned every day, one thing, and she tried to replicate it in India, and very small town in the country. And you know what? Today she is ended up making, almost 2 million Indian rupees in commission, so which is like maybe 4 times of the salary of annual salary of her husband, sorry. So you can imagine, this is the opportunity in real estate. If you really, have that process set, if you have that goal setting, if you have that, process to follow, I think you will achieve it. And it's all about mindset. This is what I believe. An agent can make a difference, and if we have 1,500 agents, that means, 1,500 agents are trying to make a difference in their particular market, and that's how we are going to change. I think next 3 5 years, government is also restricting things, like you said. They are also regulating it, and I think we as a professionals can also do our bit in it.
Definitely. And I think that is something that people need to keep in mind, is that you can only stick to those traditional ways of, you don't want to say like shady ways of doing business, but eventually the regulations are going to catch up to you, and eventually they're going to start regulating you instead of, you having to do it yourself, right? So why not just make the change now? And I think what you said in the beginning of that, answering that question is very good, because even here in the US, where everybody do have exclusive listings, the agent who has the listing is, they've got about like 90% of the work already done, and 10% of the work, it's just people bringing buyers to them. So imagine in a market where nobody's doing exclusive listings, right? And you're one of the only agents doing exclusive listings. Imagine, the professionalism, the market share you're able to capture, right? Nobody else is
Correct.
doing it. So it really is, a competitive edge that, it's a mindset shift, but you can give yourself a competitive edge in those markets as well. And I can 100% attest to the fact that Shashank shares everybody's developments that they're trying to sell on his social media. I see it on LinkedIn all the time. He's sharing people's listings, different developments that people are trying to sell, promoting them for his agents in India. And I'm really respect the amount of leadership that you're showing for, all agents at eXp India, and even, all agents at eXp here globally as well. So we want to thank you for that. And just one more thing, one last question, I think, because I got, I heard you say something in that, when you were talking to me there, and I wasn't sure, and I just wanted to make sure. You said that you can join eXp India in any age. So I'm sure there's some restrictions to that, right? So I mean, with laws and, labor
Yeah,
laws and
absolutely.
right. Right. So it has
Yeah, so
to.
actually, if you are above 18 years, so you have to be
Okay.
a minimum age of 18 years, like you
Right.
rightly said.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to join that, you can start at that age. If you are 40, you can. If you are 70, you can.
Right.
As a
Yeah.
retirement, after retirement, also, if you are a veteran from army, you can also most welcome, because you are disciplined. So I think
Right.
we have seen more successful people, who are retired and who are ex-army or military personnel. So I think this is an opportunity for anyone. I mean, it's up to
Yeah.
you. As I said, it's your mindset. And one more thing, like you said very rightly, it's all about solving problems. So I think
Yeah.
EXP is solving a lot of problems of not getting paid on time, problems on
Yeah.
not getting having exclusive listing, not having a professional agents, not having a trainings available. So I think we are helping and changing lives of so many people, right? And those who wanted to grow, they are growing. Some of the people, they complain about it, crib about it, and what kind of people crib. Those who really don't believe in things, those who really don't wanted to grow, those who always try to give some excuses, those who always believe in blaming someone else.
Yeah.
So whatever actions you have made, it's the result you are going to get. So I think these are a couple of things, like you said, is very true. And yes, anyone can join, provided you are 18-year-old and above. And yes, then again, we prefer real estate experience, because that gives a little basics. And also, there are more serious people, since there's no licensing. Having said that, if any agents wanted to commit themselves for 6 months or 1 year, I am sure we have seen a lot of success stories, and you can be the next one, or any agents or any audience who's watching it. So it can be great opportunity for you also to grow your team in India.
Right, 100%, right? Like you said earlier, it's now up to you. You have the information. Now it's up to you to make the decision whether or not you want to make that change in your life. And I promise you that Shashank will show up for you there as a leader. I've seen it countless times, just from looking at in our workspace, in our LinkedIn profiles as well. But other than that, I think thank you so much, Shashank, for being here and for sharing all the value and knowledge that you have, and for being such a great leader for us in EXP globally. And for the next 5, 10, maybe even further beyond, what is your vision for EXP in India?
So it's very difficult to share, that vision, but my vision is
Right,
very simple. And I think I believe in that. And this is the vision for, our top management also, that we really wanted to touch, as many lives as we can, right? As many lives
right,
as we can. So I think with this mission, we are growing, we are giving opportunities, equal opportunities, not opportunities, I would
right.
say equal opportunities. The
Yeah,
agent, the kind of services you are getting in US, the similar kind of services you are going to get in UK, in India, in South
wow,
Africa, or any other country we are going to open. So one thing I like about this company, they keep their core values intact. They
right,
said we are an agent-centric company. No matter which countries we are going, we are trying to do that. And additionally, EXP is also very powerful brand, right? When it comes
right,
to any country, any new country, it makes give you an opportunity, that it gives you a wing that you can actually become a global realtor. Not only that, the brand, you can leverage it and you can do business, right?
right,
There are a lot of agents in the market, but only few agents who are working with EXP. And it's your job, being a realtor, if you are jumping into EXP, it's your job to tell them, show them that professionalism, show
right,
them that spirit of doing business, show them closing more transaction, that yes, I am the best agent. And I think this is what you can learn from EXP. This is what you can learn from other agents in the different countries, and you can sell properties all over the world. Whenever I introduce myself, I said, I'm a EXP agent, like for example, and we have presence in 23 countries. We have a manpower of around 86,000 agents. If you have any properties, no matter which part of the world you wanted to sell, please let us know,
right,
right? And these are the services which we can do. So I think, just imagine, we are not only cutting down the cost, we are giving the maximum,
mhm,
I would say, commission or split to the
right,
agents. In addition to that, you will get revenue share from your network, the network you are going to build in future. You are going to get the ownership. Your company
right,
EXP is owned by the agents. And I think these are some facts which is available. Person can go and check it out. There are misconceptions about the brand, so please do your research before joining EXP. And there are some facts which is available, and there are a lot of stories. If everyone is talking about it, everyone is following the same process, and they are becoming successful, that means this company worth a lot. And I think, talking about my vision for the country, I am trying to do my level best. My team is amazing. I'm blessed with
yes,
great set of agents, great set of staff, and they all are working with the mission, to keep the values intact and try to give more and more to our agents, so that they become more successful, because their success is our success. This is what we believe.
right. That's awesome, Shashank. I'm super excited to see the growth of eXp India and to participate in it as well. Be a part of it. And for those who are listening, who has been moved by this conversation, who has made the decision now and to at least take a look at eXp Realty or eXp in India, make sure to look at the description down below. There will be a link to talk to me directly. And Shashank, I do want to ask you, are you still doing the weekly presentations over the overview of eXp India for anybody that does want to take a look at it as well?
Yes, absolutely. And I think I always say to everyone, like, it's not about how you start, it's about till when you are going to go. I
Right,
mean, you have to be consistent, right? So consistency is the key of doing any business, be it you are doing brokerage, or you are recruiting, or you are growing your team,
right,
or you are doing any business, right? So you have to be consistent. So this is what I always follow as a principle. So every Friday, without fail, 11 a.m. Indian Standard Time, I do these webinars where any agent can go and join. And we host on an average almost 30 to 100 people every week, who joins us, globally. So yes, so pretty much, you can find the link. I will share it with you, and you can circulate with your audience if you like.
Yes. Yes, I definitely will. So if you guys are listening to this on a podcast platform, it'll be in the description in the show notes. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, it'll just be in the description down below where you can find that and have a conversation about how to level up your business, level up your life here at eXp India with us. And Shashank, thank you so much again for being here, for doing this, for all your leadership that you've shown. Really appreciate it. And for listeners tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in. And I will see you guys next week. Take care.